What we'll be doing is on your BDA lab assignments. Now, as all of you realize that there is no written exam per se, no written exam and very little written test per se. So the focus, as I mentioned in my message, okay, what happened? Okay, yeah, as I mentioned in my message here, the focus is more on the concepts of statistics rather than the actual mechanical calculation. That means we don't really want you, or we don't really expect you to do a lot of handwritten calculation, workings, and so on, but more of how do you use computers, which is mainly Excel, and later we'll use R to perform statistical tests and interpret the results. Okay. The last thing we want from you is after this whole semester, when you go to your major project next year, you still take a pen and paper and start to calculate. That means you do your statistical test by hand. We do not want to see that. We want you to be able to use computers to analyze. The reason is handwritten analysis, handwritten calculation only works for small data sets. But for biotech, or in this case, your microbiotech, a lot of data that you face are thousands of rows. So there's no way of calculating things by hand. Okay, so what I'm trying to get is the concepts are important. Okay, it's not that the concepts are not important, because without concepts, you cannot interpret. Okay. So this means that, in my view, the practicals are actually much more important than the tutorials. The tutorials is mainly to firm up your concepts, not so much mechanical calculation. So far, any problem? Is this clear? The focus.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which means that if you go to the new study guide, we have the flex week is on week 5. Okay. So today and next Friday, next Thursday is on lab 1. So we have a fair bit of time. We may have a problem because our dear visa day is on Thursday. Okay, so we'll try to finish as much as we can if we run out of time. Okay. Now the second part is we have online quiz, 2 online quiz. So the 2 online quiz, essentially we are not going to bother about you using a calculator or you using Excel to calculate. Basically, just give me an answer. Okay, how you calculate is up to you. All right. Third thing that I want to point out is also this fact that since all of you are online, doing your online lectures, tutorials and practicals, so it also means that you can be at multiple places at the same time. Okay, now you are in my practical group, but let's say you find that some parts I never explained properly, or you want to see how other class managed to do that. Okay, you can go to other channels to view their recordings as well. So now you view all the 5 tutorial recordings, all the 5 lecture recordings, and which also means that at the end of the day, you are responsible for own learning. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, okay, in Excel is a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is essentially just like a table. So how does it work? Excel, the most important thing we want you to learn is some of the important built-in formulas. So how do you know where are all the formulas in Excel? Okay, let's say you go to an empty box, empty cell. We call this as a cell. Empty cell. You click on this FX button, say insert function. Okay, and here you can insert a whole list of functions. See, there are tons of functions up here. Some of them may not make sense to you. Some of them may make sense to you. So there's a lot of functions. Even statistical functions alone, we have a lot of them. Okay. So, and you can go to each one and read the description. What does it mean? What is the function doing? Okay. So, how does it work? All Excel function have to start off with an equal sign. Then this is the function name or the formula name. Okay. In this open parenthesis, open bracket, is inside what we call as the parameters of the function. Okay. Can be parameter or parameters. You learn in your secondary school maths that a function can be defined as just fx equals something, right? So f, this is the function name. X is the parameter. Okay. So what happens if there are two parameters inside? How do you write? Let's say there are two parameters. Let's say f now has two parameters, x and y. How do you denote x and y? You have a comma. So now there is two parameters. One is parameter 1 and here parameter 2, separated by a comma. Similarly, Excel functions also, if there are more than one parameter, is separated by commas as well. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me just clear off all this rubbish. Okay, at the same time, most mistake that you'll make is this. This is a colon. Two dot. Colon is not equals to semicolon, is not equals to comma. They mean different things altogether. So when you type, please make sure that you type in either colon, semicolon, or comma. In this case, what it means is it takes the average of cell 1 to cell 10. Okay? The colon here means 2. Okay, so let's do a simple exercise to start off with as a warm-up. So everyone should have your Excel and have these numbers there in the first place. So if not, you can prepare your Excel spreadsheet to have these numbers there. All of you okay already? Anyone still need a bit of time? Jordan, you need a bit of time?
No, I'm okay already.
Anyone needs
My Excel is not responding. It's lagging.
your Excel is not responding. Okay, that means probably open too many things at the same time already. Okay, so get your Excel up first. Or any other issues? So who are still struggling with getting Excel up? Anyone? Okay, because I can't see your screen. I can't run over and see what happens. If there's nobody who shout out that you need a bit more time, I will just go on. Okay, so let's say I want to find the average of these 6 numbers. Okay, so let me just in cell C2, I type the word average. So I want to find the average. I want to find the median. I want to find the, okay, so instead of median here, I want to find the first quartile. Second quartile is also known as the median, which is actually the 50th percentile. Okay, so I want to find the Q3, third quartile. All right, I want to find the minimum. I want to find the maximum. I want to find the range and the standard deviation. So these are the items I want to find out. So how do I use formulas? Okay, so if I put the formula in cell D1, 2, that means I want the data or the result to come out in this position, in this cell. So average, I just type in equals average. Make sure you have the correct spelling. Capital or small letter doesn't matter. Okay, after that, you open bracket. The easiest way is just to highlight the whole row, column. So it takes the average from cell A2 to A7. Then you close the bracket. Okay, everybody got that?
Yes.
Okay, then you, to get the result out, you press enter. So the average is 15.83. So far, okay?
Yes.
Okay, let me just show you again. Look at the formula bar here. Make sure you type in the correct thing. Yeah, it requires you to toggle between my presentation as well as your Excel. So it is not easy. I do understand that. This also means that if any one of you do have the privilege to have a tablet and a laptop, you might as well use your tablet or another computer to view my presentation while you do the work on your own laptop. If you have another machine, if you do not have, then just have to do whatever you can. Okay, can you get the average already? Any problem? Who needs a bit more help?
I haven't get the average yet.
Okay, so you right, you.
Yeah,
Okay, so where are you stuck at?
the equals thing. Yeah,
Equals. Then you
yeah.
type in the word average. You have to type in yourself. The computer cannot read your mind. Okay. Any issue?
Now no ah.
Now okay already or no? Not okay.
Now okay.
Okay. So you have average. All right. So let's get back to here. Okay. The next one is you try for yourself minimum and maximum. The function for minimum is NIM. The function for maximum is max. Okay, so do it for yourself and see whether can you get the same answer that I get. Just going to speed through. So this is the function average. Maximum and minimum is the function. Okay, anyone have problems with maximum and minimum? Can you get these two? Minimum is 10, maximum is 21. So far so good? Any issues?
All good.
All good? Okay. All right. So there's no function called range, but range is essentially maximum minus minimum. Okay. So equals to, you click on the maximum cell minus the minimum cell. That's maximum minus minimum. So you get 11. So essentially is maximum minus minimum. Okay, so range, you got it already. Now then you can cross check because the maximum is 21 minus 10 is 11. That's a range. So far, no problem, right? Okay, so how do you actually look at the formula? When you click on the cell, you go to this bar. I highlighted the formula bar. This tells you what is the formula. Is cell D7 minus cell D6. All right. So standard deviation, the formula is STDEV dot S. Okay. Make sure this is a dot. So as you see, there's actually two standard deviation. One is dot S, one is dot P. So you have to use the one dot S. So this is the standard deviation 4.02. Okay, so let me go through a little bit of information. Anyone actually do not understand this dot P and dot S, population standard deviation and sample standard deviation? Did your tutorial, who is taking your tutorial? Oh yeah, who is the class rep here?
It's me for now.
Okay, Vicky, you.
Just
Okay,
call me
you.
Xavier. Yeah.
Huh?
I just call me Xavier can already.
Okay, Xavier.
Yeah.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Okay, Xavier. So who is taking your tutorial for BDA?
Mr. Tiong.
Mr. Tiong. Okay, so you have gone through already. So anybody know what does standard deviation means?
It's the spread of data.
Spread of data. Okay. So let's go through a little bit about the calculation. Oops. So now let me just clean up my blackboard. Hello. Okay. Now, okay. So let's say we have a set of data. Okay, set of black. Let's say we have a set of data. This is horrible. Okay. Let's say we have a set of data. For example, we have x1, x2, x3, and so on. Okay. So you need to know two things. One is to find the average or the mean. Mean is also the average. Okay. So the average works this way. The formula, or sometimes the average, is also by this symbol, bar x, okay, equals to the sum of all the items in x, xi, from I equals to 1 all the way to n, divide by n. So far, okay, right? Basically, you add up all the numbers, divide by the total values. So average, you should be able to know how to find, right? Any problem in finding average? Or what does average means? Anyone with problems? I'm sure you know how to find average, right? Average of a certain set of data values. Okay. So the next one is quite important, which is your standard deviation. Okay. Standard deviation, we use a symbol S. Okay. Now, in the lecture, you have the formulas already. So I will just go through. So it's a summation of x minus the mean square divide by n minus 1. Okay. This is sample standard deviation. This is actually for sample. For population standard deviation, the base is actually just n, not n minus 1. So far, so good. This is actually what your calculator will give you. So in your calculator can give you sample standard deviation or population standard deviation. So make sure you press the correct thing as well. Okay. So let's go back. So this is the sample standard deviation. If you mistake it and then you use the dot P, the population standard deviation, that means you use this SDDEV dot P data. Okay. You get a different answer. Okay. Because it's divided by n. It's divided by 6 instead of 5. Okay, so please do not mess this up. So far, so good? Yes, no? Anybody still awake?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So my next question is this. Okay, this is what I've not sure whether have you gone through in tutorial. Okay, so let me just, anyone do not know what is average? All of you know what's average, right? So my question is this. If I were to have any data points, okay, any data sets, and I were to calculate the sum of all the data set, the data point, minus the average, and I sum them up, what is the answer? There's only one answer for every single data set. No matter what data set is, there's only one answer. Anybody can tell me what is this number here? This. What should I put inside the box? Just make a guess, just make a guess. I don't expect you to get it right or wrong, but just make a guess. Okay. Zixian, yes, you want to talk something?
Is it variance?
Variance? Nope, it's not variance. Variance is actually square of standard deviation, which is equals to this. Okay, so it's not variance. No matter, I can tell you that no matter what data set you have, the answer will be the same. The answer for this will be the same. So somebody just give it a try.
Is it 0?
Correct, it's 0. Perfect, it's 0. But do you know why? If this is the average, correct? Average means the middle, the average number. There will be equal numbers before and after it, which is every number minus the average. You sum up all these numbers because everyone will give you a negative number. You sum up all these numbers. Let's say we call this as negative y, the sum of all these numbers. Then all the other side will give you all the positive number. If you sum it up, we call it z. You find that y is equals to z. The numeric value number y is equal to z. We don't bother about equal sign. Because average means that all the numbers below the average will add up with all the numbers above the average to give you 0. So far, so good? That's what average really means. All right. Yeah. So this number is 0. All right. Okay. Now my next question to you is this part, okay? Because I find that this is a very important concept that a lot of people doesn't seem to realize. Is this? Okay. Let me just slowly erase my whiteboard. Okay. Out of this equation, it means out of this equation, standard deviation, which is the toughest part to calculate? Is it the addition, minus, or the square or square root?
The square.
The square. The square you can still, it's tedious, but then given you enough paper, you can still do the square, right? Can you do square root on paper? That means without a calculator.
Nope.
No, okay. There is a way, but then it is very tedious. So square and square root. Okay. But if you realize that when you square things, right? Let's say x, this value will definitely be more than 0. Correct? Because you square a negative number, let's say 2 minus 2 square, it will give you 4. 2 square will also give you 4. Make sense?
Yes.
So the effect of square and square root can remove the negative value, so it will not give you 0. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay. Question comes in a bigger issue. Here's my next question. Is there an operation or a method in maths that removes negatives? That means I have minus 4. I do something to it, I get 4. If I have 4, I do the same operation, it still gives me 4. Is there a mathematical way of doing it?
Is it absolute?
Absolute, correct. Absolute. Okay. Absolute means basically positive remain as positive, negative change to positive. So my question to you is, if this compared with standard deviation, will it be easier if the standard deviation is like this? This formula instead, compared with the real standard deviation, will it be easier? Much
But
easier, right?
Yeah, it's easier.
But isn't
Yeah.
it wrong? Because you don't square the values.
No, it is not wrong. This actually means something else. It is not standard deviation, but means something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the question is, why do we still square and square root rather than take the absolute? You realize that the units is the same. Okay. The question now is, why on earth do we square and square root things in statistics all the time? In statistics, you always get this problem of square and square root. This is something that I, again, don't expect you to know, but I will show you why it is. Okay. Now, square and square root comes from a very important concept. Okay. Let me just show you. Let's say for average, your mean how many data points, how many x values do you need before it will give you a result? What is the smallest number? The result may not make sense, but it will give you a result. One, 2, 5, or what? Or 0. Okay, let's say you have 0 number. 0 divided by 0, what do you get?
0.
0 divided by 0 is actually not 0.
Math error.
Yes, zero. You cannot divide things by 0. 0 divided by 0 is infinity. Okay? But can you just have one number? That means I say that the average of 5 is 5. Does this sentence make sense? Does this sentence make sense?
Somewhat.
5, one number, divide by the 1 equals to 5.
Yeah.
Correct, right?
If there's only one,
Yes, there's only one. But if you have standard deviation, start to think about how many values do I need minimally?
2.
2, correct. 2 values, right? Because this is the problem. Makes sense, right? You need 2 minus 1 to give you 1. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay. So let's just settle this part. And let me erase my large eraser. Okay. Now, so let's say if I give you only 2 values, so means my data is just x1 and x2. Okay. So if I take this, okay, I just rewrite the whole equation again. Okay, and then n here n equals to 2. Okay, so essentially I will end up with, because 2 minus 1 is just 1, right? So I'll end up with this. Correct? No problem, right?
Yep.
Okay. How do I remove the square root mathematically?
You square it.
How do I remove the square root on the right hand side?
You square it.
Square root, right? So here I square. Okay, but since I have only 2 values, I expand this out. So it's x1 minus x2 minus mean. Does this look similar to you? Something that you have seen before?
Yeah.
Does this equation look something you have seen before?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Let me think.
Let you think. Okay, let me help you a little bit more. If I say that A equals to x1 minus average of x, and B equals to x2 minus average of x, I substitute it in, I will get this. What does it remind you of now?
Pythagoras.
Correct. Mr. Pythagoras. Pythagoras thing or RUS. Okay. Pythagoras Theorem. Correct. So this is Pythagoras Theorem. And it's because of this Mr. Stupid Pythagoras Theorem that we square and square root things, that we do not use absolute. By now, hopefully you should know that, okay, Pythagoras Theorem, what kind of triangle it is for?
Right angle.
Yeah, right angle. Okay. By now, you should realize that your graph is all right angle triangle, right?
Yes.
This is a reason, because we force in Pythagoras Theorem all the way back up into this form. That's why we can plot things as on a normal graph paper. Otherwise, all your graph paper will have a different angle. Then you are in big problem. Okay, so this is the concept of the maths, concept of the principle that we hope that you will get. Okay, So back to here. So since you can calculate all this, we go to the first, second, and third quartile. Okay. So first quartile is this formula. Quartile. You have a data, but it has another thing, another option, which is what I just been say as which quartile. So there are two parts to the formula. Okay, so if you follow me, equals to quartile. Okay, then if you click on this fx function, okay, the data array is for data. Then here you go to quart, it tells you what it is. So if you put number is 0 is the minimum value, 1 is first quartile, 2 is median, which is 50th second quartile, third quartile, and maximum value. Okay, so here we put down first quartile. So the first quartile is 13.5. Okay, look at this. Okay, or else if you type it as a formula, right? After you put the first comma, it will tell you what you can put in. So first quartile is 25th percentile, median value is 50th percentile, third quartile is 75th percentile. So we want the first quartile. Obviously.
Sorry, can you repeat the way you do it again?
Okay, so I type quartile, open bracket, array. Array means the data. Then it has a comma. I will put a comma. The next one is a quart. Which quartile you want? First quartile, second quartile, or third quartile, or maximum minimum value. Since I want Q1, I use 1 because that's the first quartile. Then close the bracket and you get it. So look at this bar here. This is exactly what I type in. Okay. This highlighted portion, this is exactly what I type in. Okay, any
just now you said type what array, what's that?
array means the data.
Oh.
Array is actually the data values. See, you read the description. Array is the array or range size for you want to calculate the quartile value. So if you get that, then I'll just give you the answer for second quartile and third quartile. Second quartile is your median. Okay. So you try out to see whether can you get the same answer. See whether can you get these three answers. Okay, so I'll just put here, quartile is first quartile. This is second quartile. Basically, I just change one item. This is third quartile. Okay. So what I want you to try is make sure that you get all these values yourself. I know it's not going to be easy because I cannot run to your computer and see what have you typed. In class I can do that, but online I can't do that.
Sir, you know
Yep.
just now the Pythagoras Theorem thing you explained?
Yeah.
Is that part of our syllabus?
Nope.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's not part of the syllabus, but it's good for you to know that it's based on Pythagoras theorem. The reason is a lot of people, when they go university, they have no idea why on earth you square and square root things. They just follow it blindly. Understanding of the equation helps you to think about what can go wrong in your calculation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so who is still, well, I will not ask who have finished, but who still need a bit of time to finish this section here. Okay, you have to say out, otherwise I really do not know. I don't even know your face. Anyone got problems? Anyone struggling? Bernice, are you okay? Minhui, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good.
Yes.
Okay, Jude, let's see who. Trevor, surviving?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, all good. All right. So, as you can see that there's a lot of things that you can do. Now, definitely you can be able to do interquartile range, right? Interquartile range is the third quartile minus the first quartile. Third quartile minus the first quartile. That is interquartile range. Okay, so is there a faster way for me to do all this at one time? This is also important when you do your other statistical analysis. Okay, look at my screen first. You click on data tab, this data menu bar. Okay, so I'll just explain this. This home, insert, all this, right? Home, insert, draw, layout, formulas. This is what we call as menu bar. The second, all these icons, this is called the ribbon, menu ribbon. Okay, so you click on data. Do you have this data analysis tools? This data analysis and this solver, and especially data analysis first. Anyone do not have it?
I don't.
Okay, who are you? Okay, Xavier, any more? Any
I
more?
don't have solver, but
Okay,
I
you
have
don't have
data
solver.
analysis.
Damien, you have that. Did you actually launch it yourself or somebody help you to do it and then you? So Damien.
It's on LMS. There's like a link.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my video, my own recording. Okay, so do step by step. Okay, Xavier, just look at what I'm doing first. I try to go a bit slow. You go to File, click on File, go all the way to Options. Okay, so let me just try to type out on the conversation. So you go to File, Options, then you go to Add-ins. Okay, Add-ins. After you go to add-ins, you go and find this manage Excel add-ins. Go. Okay. I can't even see what am I typing already. So go. You click on go, and then this is your analysis 2-pack. Click on analysis 2-pack, analysis 2-pack.vba, and solver add-in. These three. You don't need the Euro currency tools. Then click OK. It should pop up. Yeah.
Hi, Cher. For mine, right? Jordan here. Is I
Uh-huh.
added it yesterday, but now it doesn't show up.
Okay, so something is not very right. You may have to add in every time.
But I went to do the entire thing again, but it said that I have already the active application add-ins is already there.
This is a confusion, but try to open another Excel and see what happens. Sometimes you have to close and open again.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got both of them already.
Okay, good. So just give Jordan a minute. Okay, so as we are mentioning, you can actually go and do all this yourself. So you can go to Dominican. Okay, so what you have is your Dominican. Just click on it. It will launch a link in Google Drive. So then you can download the data. Download the data. Okay, try later and download the data yourself. Show in folder. And let me just go to my so you can open that up first if you want. Okay, so how do we get all this information from this data analysis toolkit? Okay, look here first. Don't bother trying out until you see what am I doing. You click on data analysis. Then you go and find these are all the analysis tools that it has. They will be using a lot of them. So you go to Descriptive Statistics. Click OK. You will see this part here. Okay, go and try until you see this part. The text box says Descriptive Statistics. Okay, all there already?
I'm not.
You are not. Okay, so go to, yeah, just click through. Okay, is go to data analysis, descriptive statistics, then click OK. You'll see this box. So anyone still not here yet?
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So it asks you input range. Input range means what are the values you want to input. Okay, so I click on data. I highlight data all the way to the input range. Even the first one, first cell, I highlight the word data as well. I group by column. So the data is based on a column. Label in the first row because I have the label, data label. The word data is my label. So I click on data in the first row. I want this thing known as summary statistics. Click summary statistics. And I want my output range. Click on output range. And the output range I just put into any empty cell. So here I put in as G1. Okay, get everything the same as what I have here. Especially this is in columns, not in rows. Okay, Jermaine, okay?
Yep.
Okay, Damien, okay?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Jolene, all right?
Yes.
Okay. Minhui, okay? Lucas, okay?
Yep.
Umaira, Jinru, okay. I presume the rest are okay, right? Then after that, you just click OK. OK button. It pops up everything for you. Okay. So let me just reduce my screen to show you what happened. Okay. So the mean is calculated. The mean value, which is average. The standard error, you don't bother about it yet. median here, Q2 median, mode. It says NA, means that there is no mode. Standard deviation. Standard deviation, sample variance. Sample variance is essentially the square of standard deviation. You take this number, 4.020779 square, you get the variance. Okay. Skew and kurtosis, don't bother about it. Range, you know. Maximum, minimum, you know. The sum, which is what's the sum of all these numbers, and there are 6 counts. So far, so good.
Sorry, can you repeat what you just did?
What I just did. You mean this?
No, the standard deviation part.
Okay, standard deviation, I'm just showing you that variance is just a square of standard deviation. So this 4.02 square is 16.1. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just squaring itself. Standard deviation times standard deviation is variance. So this is standard deviation, this is variance. Because some statistics test uses standard deviation, some uses variance. I do not want you to get confused between these two terms. So far, okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So once you are done with that, you can actually leave this data set itself. Then what we will go to is look at here. Okay, we actually have mentioned to you what is the difference between standard deviation P and standard deviation S. Okay, so standard deviation P, this is population standard deviation. Standard deviation S is your sample standard deviation. Okay. Now you see that there's this quartile include and quartile exclude. So let's just see what does it mean. Okay. So let's just put another point. You see, quartile include. Okay. So we click on it. We go to this fx to actually see what it means. Okay. Returns the quartile based on percentile value, inclusive. Okay. So let's say we do the median, which is the second quartile. Okay. So this is using quartile include. Let's try using quartile exclude and see whether do we get a different answer. Okay. So it's exclusive. So quartile exclude, take the value, and 2. Okay. It gives me identical. Okay. So quartile include and quartile exclude, what is the real difference? Let's try the first quartile and see what happens. The first quartile, here the first quartile, you see there's actually a difference. Okay. So usually when you have quartile include and quartile exclude, please use quartile include. That is the general the quartile that we understand. Don't use quartile exclude. Okay. It means something else. Okay. So basically what I'm telling you is use this. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what do you manage to get to Dominican HTN? If I open Dominican HTN, I will get this file. Do you manage to get that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So what I want you to do is, I want to find the summary statistics of age. Basically, you do it yourself and see whether do you get these whole sets of values. Okay, try the same thing. Use your descriptive statistics on age. On the age, which is this column, column B. So let me show you how I will do it. I go to data, data analysis, descriptive statistics. Now, instead of highlighting the rows, I just highlight the, instead of just drag and drop, I just grab the whole column. So from column B to column B, the whole column. Okay, labels in the first row, output range, I put it in F1, summary statistics, and I click OK. So far, okay, all right? You know what I'm doing here? Okay, see whether you get the same answer as myself.
So how do you open the Dominican spreadsheet in Excel?
Where are you at this moment?
I opened it and it's like a PDF kind of thing. Like I can't edit anything.
Okay, so do you download it?
No, not yet. So I have to download it first.
Okay, so you see, you follow what I go to click the, so now you are in this, right? You're in Google Drive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then you have to download it first. If you don't download, you can't do anything. Click on this download and download into your folder. When you download, it generally goes to, you should show in folder, it generally goes into your download folder.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right, found it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who have done already, the main thing is do a discount. It should be 381. So if 381, usually you're quite okay. Okay. All right. So if you get up to this part, at least the first 1/4 of the work is done. You know how to calculate some statistics already. Okay. The next part here is to 2.2 is to go through all the statistics add in. There's a whole procedure. So you actually cover 2.2 already. All right. Are you up to, anyone still cannot get this?
Sorry, how to select everything?
I'm still in the process.
Still select everything.
Yeah, like
You need
the.
to, you see, when you want to select the whole column, I just go to column B, look at this cursor. It becomes an arrow, right? I click on it, it becomes the whole column B. So if I go to data analysis tab, descriptive statistics, see my column B is actually the whole column. My input range is the whole column. So it doesn't give me a cell. So it's from B to B.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still in the process of downloading.
Okay.
Wait, never mind, it's just showed up, sorry.
It's all right. No problem. Okay, so the next thing is try to look through your lab menu before you come for a lab. Try to download as much as you can, all the things that you need to download. Yeah, you have to do, it's more demanding for you, yes I know, to do your pre-lab readout. You know, it's the same. If you go to your genetics lab, you cannot go there with absolutely nothing. Okay, so for the rest of you who are managed, who have completed all this, you can take a 10 minutes break. We'll come back at 2:15.
Teacher,
Yes.
I managed to do all this thing, but I think I miss out when you teach us how to add the solver.
Solver. Okay, so let me just show you again. We go to File. Actually, you don't need the solver, just that I add more for convenience. File, Options, Options. Look at my cursor, Options. Okay. Go to Add-ins. My cursor here, Add-ins. Click on Add-ins. Then click on Go. This manage Add-in Go. Then I just tick the solver here. The data analysis toolbar is here. Then, okay, it will pop up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, we'll be back in our 10 minutes time. Okay, so if you are a bit energetic, you can even do the descriptive statistics for your systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Okay, so this is what standard error means.
Hello, teacher.
Yes.
What does output range mean?
Output range is where you want to put the data. So here, output range F1, right? That means it is anchored to cell F1. So I want the data to start from here. So it's an anchor point for me to put the data to pump out where the results are supposed to be.
So I click on the empty cell.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone enjoying this home-based learning already? Or anyone absolutely don't like home-based learning? No. They are dying to go back to school.
Yes.
Okay, so who is that?
Damien.
Damien. Why is that?
School better, more conducive, less
Yes,
easily
right.
distracted.
Yes, it's less distractive, correct.
Then can see my class also. It's all easier.
Yay.
Well, you can have your own Microsoft Teams meeting that you can see each other. Yeah,
It's not the same, Joe.
There are so many things you can do. You can, there are a lot of apps you can play. You can do your, what do you call this? You can go and download apps like, for example, House Party. You can play games with each other. You can download apps for karaoke if you want to. We have done that before. Yesterday, me and my friends, we do a Zoom-based exercise program. So you have 20 little bobbing heads all over the place on the screen. Yes, I know it's difficult. It's not easy. Okay. But as far as for the whole next month, just do your best on home-based learning as much as you can. Okay. Now, if you think that year 2 is difficult, think about what happened to all those year 1 students. They don't even know who their classmates are. So how many of you have actually not stepped out of your house since the circuit breaker? Anyone?
I have not stepped out of the house in a month.
Okay, that's fine. The last time that I stepped out of house was 8th of April. So it's 1 week, 2 weeks. So it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is my 21st day. You can do a lot in your house if you really want to. Yeah, but it does depends on whether do you have a quiet place at home.
No.
There are a lot of people who have problems, don't have a quiet place at home. You can if your house is not doesn't have too much things in your house in your living room, you can actually do jogging in your house if you want to. Just that you can't jog very fast. Slow jog, yes. I tried it once and it took me nearly 15 minutes to complete 3 kilometers inside my house. So it may be possible. But other than that, you can still do your push-up, sit-up, whatever thing. Get some exercise as well. Yeah, otherwise, exercise will help your brain function a bit better. Okay, 2 more minutes and we shall start. So this is what I'm trying to show you. Standard error is simply standard deviation divided by square root of the data points. Okay. Okay, so the next file that you should have is this end 2006.excel file. So do you have this file?
Yes.
Okay, so let's open this file. And what we are trying to find out is a summary statistics for all the a sample of 46 students. So here what we have, we want to find the summary statistics scores, the frequency charts, and so on. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So we open the file up and we want to just get the descriptive statistics of the data. So basically the descriptive statistics is I want the score. So this is the marks. Okay, the score, let's do the same thing which we have done just now, descriptive stats. Okay, column B, I want the output range, let's say output range in E1. Okay, so this gives me my average score, standard deviation of the scores, and so on. So let's try this. You should give the same result. Okay, anyone struggling here? It's exactly the same as what we did for age just now. But now it's just score. Okay, we have 46 students. Okay, so far, any problem here? Minhui, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Jinjiang, okay? Jinjiang or Jinjiang?
All good. Can you call me Dominic?
Dominic. Dominic. Okay, because Dominic is not in your IC, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
My IC.
I'll try to remember. So
Alright.
we have one Xavier, one Dominic. Okay. If it's in your IC, it will be much easier for me to remember. Anyway, we will see. So the next thing is we want to, okay, so we already have this descriptive statistics. Okay. So now we repeat the same old problem again. Can we go to your Dominican HTM and find the the summary statistics for your two blood pressures? So let's say instead of doing one at a time, let me show you how to do two columns at a time. Okay, you can do two columns at a time. Just go to, okay, just follow, look at what I'm doing first. Okay, I go to data analysis tab, descriptive stats. Now instead of just now I highlight one column. Okay, this I highlight one column. I can highlight two columns at one go. So you see, it goes from C to D, column C to D. I still have my labels and my output range, and I throw to I1. So it will generate both sets of results for me together. Okay, so I don't have to do one by one. I can do multiple things at one go. Okay, try this out for yourself first. You do, it means you summarize or you describe, produce the descriptive stats for two columns at one go. Okay, anyone facing problems? Let me go up the list again. Wei Jie, any problem?
No.
Okay, Okay, Jingyun.
No problem.
Ryan.
No problem.
Okay, so how to pronounce your name? Yan Yuan. Hello, are you there? Xu Yun, yeah, okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to do the frequency table of the grades. So we want to go to this, and we want to do the grades. What are the frequency tables? Okay, so how do you actually do that? Now, if I give you a set of data like this, how do you do the frequency table? Which means that I want to find out how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's, and so on. Okay. The way we do this is here. Let me just show you. You click on all the data, A, B, and C. Then you go to Insert. Okay, Insert. You insert Pivot Table. Click on this Pivot Table. Can see or not?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
click on it. Okay, then it will ask you to what is the range. Basically, I highlighted column A, B, and C already. Usually for pivot table, I want to go to a new worksheet. So I click on OK. So it comes back to something like this. Okay, what I want here is you grab the grades, click on grades, pull it down to rows. Pull it down to rows, drop it on rows. So now you see all the grades. So far, so good. You pull down the grades to rows. Okay, what did I do? Okay, if I messed up, so I'll just delete the whole thing. Let's get this away from me. Yes, delete. So I pull down the grades to rows first. Okay, and all of you okay with it up to this step? Any problems? Any problem?
No. Okay.
No problem.
All right. So after that, you go down the rows. Okay, the grades go to values as well. So you go to values, and then you tell you the count. So the count of grades, that means there are 4 A's and so on. Okay. Okay, originally you get this value something like this, right? So A is 4, B is 12. That means 12 students get B. 12 students, 5 students get B plus and so on. You manage to get this.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, okay, right. There's one problem now. Is the grades in the correct order? Are the grades in the correct order?
No.
All right. Okay, so
No.
yeah, so B and B plus should be swap position, C and C plus should be swap position, D and D plus should swap position. Now look at, okay, don't do anything on your screen first. Look at how I do it. Okay, let me just expand. Okay, look at how I do it. I highlight the whole row of B plus. Now, if I highlight the whole row, you realize that my cursor, there are 3 different types of cursor. This is called the fat cross cursor. Okay, look at fat cross. Okay, then sometimes I go to the end of it, it becomes a hairline cursor. Okay, it's almost a target. If I move it aside, it becomes it's a cross, but with the 4 arrows. So this is a moving cursor. I need to get to the point where I hit this moving cursor, click on it, and I can drag and drop. Now B, I drag and drop B in the correct position. So I do the same for C as well. And I do the same for D as well. So now it's all in the correct position now. Okay, try this. Okay, remember there are 3 cursors. One is a big cross, big fat cross. Another one is a hairline. Another one is the hairline with the 4 arrows. That's for moving.
So how do you get the count of grade again?
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
what I do is, okay, that means I do this, okay. So I have grades here in the first place. I take the grades, I pull the grades into the values, into this value column.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then automatically it will give me count. If I do not want count, I can change it to something else. Okay, but you will give me count in the first place. So count is what I want. I just leave it as it is.
So you cannot move up.
Cannot move up. Click
Yeah,
here
got,
in the correct cursor. See, this is the cursor that you can move.
got some error thing.
What is the error you get?
You say cannot change because will affect pivot table. Then must
Wrong cursor. Then the wrong cursor.
round.
The cursor is this. It's a plus. It's actually a cross cursor, but we have 4 little arrows beside it. You need this cursor to move. This is the only cursor that you click, then it will move. See, it will move to where you want.
Yacha, use that.
Cannot.
Cannot.
Okay, cannot. Then then no choice lah. If cannot, then you literally retype out everything yourself. Yeah lor. So if cannot move, then you move it yourself lor. As in, you type out A, B plus, and do it yourself lah.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Sometimes the different version of Excel do have slight problems as well. So not much of a choice, but we will see. Okay. Okay. Anyone at least, either by manually changing, pulling up and down, or by retyping it, you get to this data. So far so good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do is let's say you highlight this. Okay, you highlight the cells. You go to insert. Now we want to insert a bar graph. You go to insert and click on this bar graph. Insert column or bar chart. Okay, click on it. I want a 2D bar chart. Okay, you should get this graph, but I do not like this graph because it has the values that I do not want. Okay, for example, I have a blank. Why on earth do I have a blank? It doesn't make sense, right? So I can click on the grades and then I remove the blank. So here I click on the grades, which is a drop down list. I remove the blank. So now I do not have the blank. Okay, you managed to get to this part here? Or if you okay with this bar graph? Hello?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, can.
Can.
You probably have to tell me who you are. Then yeah, can. Okay, so Lucas is all right. At least I know. Now, okay, the next thing is this. Let's say total. You do not need the legend total here, correct? If you do not need the legend total, please remove it. Okay, and we can change the title to, let's say, grades for NT N2006. Okay. All right. After that, we want to learn how to modify these graphs. Because one big importance of Excel is how do you make graphs that looks nice? That is a very important step. We always want to make nice looking graphs. So what is still missing from this graph? Can anybody suggest?
Axis titles.
Yes, axis titles. So you click on this plus sign. Then you click on axis titles. Now you have the both axis titles. So you can take this as count. And then this is the alphabetical grade. Okay. Is it good enough?
Can you show that again? I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Okay, so you go to this plus sign, chart elements, and you click on axis titles. So you click on axis titles. Let me show you. Origin is like this. You click on axis titles, then the axis title will pop up. Are you there yet?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then you label the axis you want. Okay. Because all these are what you call it, text boxes. Okay. Now, what other things I would like to change? Anyone can suggest? Or what are things I want to add on to it?
The data labels.
Data labels. Okay, you can add data labels. Once you add data labels, you can click on data labels. So you at this chart, right? You click on it. So it highlight every chart, every bar. Right click, add data labels. Okay, so add the data labels for you. Any more?
A trend line? Do we add a trend line?
No, trend line is quite useless here because there is all this will tell you data. Trend line is when there's a time or something that spans across it.
Okay.
So let me ask you, if you have data labels, does all these horizontal line, actually, do you need them anymore?
No.
No, right? So make it cleaner. Click on the horizontal lines, delete it. Okay. Any more things you can change? How many of you like this blue color in Excel? Anyone like this blue color?
It's okay.
David, what do you say? A bit louder.
It looks okay.
Looks okay. Any violent objection? If you want to change the color, how do you change? You click on the bars, then there's this format data series, right? You can go to here, go to the paint can here, go to fill. Fill, you can change the color, whatever color you want. So I tend to prefer either a brighter or duller color. Okay, maybe this brighter blue. Or I can go to a bright orange. Okay. Use something about changing colors. Then you can also add the borders. Now there's no borders. You can add a solid border to it. You can add a black border. Okay. You can increase the width of border. Okay. So this is border of the chart. Or you don't want the border of the chart, you can also remove the border of a chart. Okay.
Wait, hi, Che, how do you put the border again?
You mean the border of the chart or the border of the bars?
Both. Both.
Okay, so border of the chart, you go to plot area, then borders. Plot area, this, you go to border, then you click on solid line. See, you click on solid line, right? Then you highlight a color, and then that's it, I think.
Hey, wait, Che, how you get the format chart area?
Oh, format chart area. Simple. You go to here, right click, format plot area.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So this is the plot area, this is the chart area. Outside is the chart area, the inside is a plot area. See? This goes to chart area, this is the plot. Okay. So let's say if I do not want the borders of the chart, I want the borders of plot, I click on the plot, then I change the borders to a solid color. Okay. Or if I do not want that, I just go to no borders. Okay. Then if I click on the bars, then I say it becomes format data series. So there are 3 levels: format chart area, format plot area, format data series. So data series is I can change, and now I can change the borders of the data series, so it looks cleaner and a bit more professional looking. Okay, anything I want to change? So for example, what is the difference between a bar graph and a histogram?
Histogram got no spacing.
Correct. So how do you do histogram here?
You click it, then remove space.
Correct. So you click on the bars, you go to the bar here, right? The series option, you go to these bars, you remove the gap width. So you see, I can remove the gap width, remove the 0, it becomes a histogram. You see, this looks ugly, please do not ever do that. Remove, it becomes a histogram. Now my question is, can I just highlight, can I change the color of just one bar instead of all the bars? Anyone? Can I change the color?
Yes,
Can,
it's doable.
Can, right? So
Yep.
what I do is I click on all the bars, I click again, it becomes only one bar. Then I can change it to a different color. Okay, so play around with it. All right, next. This is a bit out of your syllabus, but I want to show you how do you do nice graphs. Okay, now, how many of you will think that you want to put your graphs onto a PowerPoint slide eventually? Will you want to present your graphs? Let's say in your, I don't know, in your project report, in your presentation, will you need to have this graph on the PowerPoint slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to a PowerPoint. Okay. Let me just show you something that I always do, the wrong thing that you can do, and you tell me what's wrong with it. So what you tend to do is you go to your Excel, you copy the graph, in your PowerPoint, you paste on it. Then you find that, oh, it is too small. What do you do? I mean, seriously, are you going to present, let's say, are you going to present this in the, to your whole class? No, right? So you will drag, you expand this graph, right? Yes, no?
Yep.
You expand it, but see what's wrong with it. What doesn't get expanded?
The labels don't get expanded.
Number.
The labels don't get expanded, right? Now think about this, you show this in the middle of a class. Let's say you show this in a lecture theater. Do you think anybody can read all the numbers?
No.
No.
Right? So how do you sort this out? The way to sort it out is very simple. I'm going to have sore throat just talking like this. Okay, so you copy. Instead of just paste, you right click and paste it as a picture. Once you paste it as a picture, don't care about this stupid thing. Because it's a picture, everything expands together with it. So it looks nice. Some decency. You can even do here, because I don't want this count grid, right? I can even do go to a picture, crop it, crop, 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 crop. Done. Does your other lecturer know where do you get this graph from? That's from a pivot table. Unlikely. Okay, make sense? Hello.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, same thing. You can go and do it on a report. So let's go and see how we're going to do it on a report. Yes. Okay. For example, I have a Word document, new Word document. Okay. So how many of you like to write your report and then you have graphs in the middle, especially one that have two graphs in the middle? That means what I'm trying to say is, let me see. Okay. So this is what I want. Okay. So let's say this is the page. Okay. So I want to have my words, wording. Then here I have one graph. I have one graph. Maybe I have four graphs. Then I have wording again. How many of you want your report to look something like this?
Yes.
Okay. How do you do that? Question.
Paste as picture.
Kind of, but you need a bit more skill than paste as picture. Paste as picture itself doesn't work. So let me just go to somewhere. Let me just go to Yahoo and find a newspaper report that we can use. Let's say Yahoo Singapore, and let's see what is the latest news that we have. Okay, so let's say copy down this. So we are just using a newspaper report, nothing very much. Hello, respond. Hey. Okay, dummy as a Word document. Very difficult, Mr. Here. Paragraphs. Multiple line 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Let me just sort this out first and show you what am I trying to do. 0, 12, font size. Okay, so let's say this is my report, for example. Okay. Okay, the wording itself doesn't mean anything to me, But what I want is I want to put my graphs in the middle of these two paragraphs. Okay, you find that if I just paste as picture, yes, I can paste as picture. Just copy and I paste as picture, I will have a very massive problem with trying to put things on a 2x2. So basically, how do I put a graph here and a graph here? It's very difficult to do. You can't do that. So the trick that I'm going to show you is this. Delete. Delete. Okay. Before you paste anything as a picture, go and insert a table first. Insert a table. Okay, let's say I insert a table. Then what I do is I paste the graph into the table. So I paste it. Okay, of course I will resize it again. Okay, so size it properly. Then I go and paste it, and I paste it, and I paste it. Okay, so assuming that all your graphs are labeled A, B, C, D properly already, the last row, I will do a merge cell and say that this is figure 1, and then I type in whatever thing I want. Okay. Before you print out your report, what you have to do is click on all the entire table, remove all the borders. Then it will look, let me go to view. It will look pretty professional. Okay, so this is how you can do a nice looking report. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, although we tend to say that report format, there is no actual marks given to report format, but if given a nice looking report and an ugly looking report, that changes your lecturer's mood in terms of marking. So up to you. Okay. So now what we have done is the columns already. We have also done the histogram. Okay. So histogram is quite useful. Excel can do box and whiskers plot, but it's actually not easy to do. Excel can do box and whiskers plot, very troublesome to do. So I will not go through the box and whiskers plot in Excel. Okay, you can try this out and see whether can you get the same what I call this way of doing things. It's not easy. Okay, so I leave this box and whiskers plot for you to go home and try. Let's say insert recommended charts. Okay, because of all the outliers and so on, you have to change each individual settings. Okay, what am I? So I can go to graphs, go to insert, recommended chart. Okay, recommended chart, I have all charts. I can go and do box and whiskers. Okay, can do that. Okay, I can do a box and whiskers plot, but this is a bit hard to manipulate itself. Okay, certain things it's not easy to do. Okay, so this is a very simple box and whiskers plot by itself, but it doesn't give me a lot of data that I want. So far so good. So this is a simple way to do box and whiskers plot. Okay. Similarly, I can go to my, okay, let me just finish it. I can show you again. Okay. For example, I can do box and whiskers plot for the two blood pressure, systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Go to insert, recommended charts, then click on all chart, and click on box and whiskers. Okay, so it will show up. Okay, so you change the data, the horizontal axis, you have to change it. Okay. No, this doesn't work. Okay. We do it. So if you mess it up, the easiest way is to redo the whole plot again. Okay. But what you need here is the box and whiskers plot. You need the legend. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Okay. Why not you try to follow my steps and see whether can you do the box and whiskers plot on the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Okay. See where can you do this. You can even move the, what do you call this? Move the legend. It doesn't allow me. It doesn't even allow me to move the legend, so it's a bit cumbersome. Okay, anyone want to try? Give it a try. Hello, anybody still alive?
Yep.
Okay, good. Good that you are still alive. Okay, so this is a simple box and whiskers plot. That's about it.
Wait. Hi, Cher. So
Yeah.
just asking, right? So next time, let's say when we're doing box and whisker, we can just go straight to this, right? We don't have to do it the manual way.
This method you can do, but it is harder for you to, what I'll say, it's much harder for you to, let me think of a better word, for you to, what you call, optimize the plot to what you want. There's only one way of doing it. Okay? You can't change a lot of things. You can change the style, yes, but that's about all you can do. Okay? You can't actually physically manipulate a lot of things. So that's why I try not to use box and whiskers plot in Excel. Okay, if you box and whiskers plot will be much easier if you use it on R. R produce decent box and whiskers plot. Okay, so how do you do the box and whiskers plot in a manual way? It's not easy. This is the manual way of doing box and whiskers plot. Okay, you can give it a try. In fact, I do encourage you to give it a try at home and see what you'll get. What exactly you are doing, it will be something that looks like this. Okay. Let me just see if I can explain it roughly to you. Okay. So first you have a graph. And let's say my box and whiskers is supposed to look like this. Okay. So how do I replicate this on an actual graph? I have to draw a stack graph. So this is my stack graph. Okay. After I draw my stack graph, then what I do is, so this is step 1. Then what I do is I take this, sorry, A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Step 2 is that I remove the coloring, the fill, and the borders for A. So I'm left with this B, C, D, and E. A is still there, but it's invisible because it's white and there's no borders. Make sense so far? So here to here, A is white fill, remove lines. So it's actually invisible bar. Okay. Then after that, I have to sort this out. So I change D and C. So D and C, same color with a border in between. Okay, so A is still there. B is still there. E is still there. Then I change into another label for my E and my B. I change it into another blocky type. So my A is still there. So this is a cumbersome process. But you can actually optimize every single thing. So this is step 3 and step 4 to get the bar graph that you want, the box and whiskers plot that you want. Okay, so far so good. So you just keep practicing until you get it familiarized if you do need to use it. Okay, but at the moment it's no point showing you, because when you need it in year 3, you'll exactly forget how to do it, and I've got to repeat all over again for you. So I'd rather when you need it, then go and learn how to do it. Okay, it takes a lot of creativity just to handle this thing. All right. So since we don't have time next week, we will just finish at least your time plots. Okay. So what I have is your time plots, weekly distribution. Let me just go through. So for here, what I will take is the hepatitis B data sets. About my Hep B data sets. Okay. So now we have number of cases, new cases of hepatitis B in 2014 and 2015. So this is by weeks. So at 52 weeks. So this is where you can draw a line graph, a line chart. Okay, so let's say if I draw a line chart, it doesn't give me anything. It just tells me every week how many more new cases I have. But what I want is to ask a question. Is the rate of growth, I want to ask this question. Okay. Is the rate of new cases in 2015 comparable to that of 2014? Or is it higher or lower, faster or slower? Okay. So if you give me a graph that looks like this, 2014, and then another graph that looks 2015, it doesn't make any sense. So far, so good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me just close my window first, it's raining. So since I want to look at the rise in case, so what I will do is I will do a cumulative case. Okay. So I'll put column D as cumulative for 2014. Okay. Column E as cumulative for 2015. Then I accumulate the case. So the first week will be the same. Equals. Okay. Then week 2 is actually the summation of week 1 plus week 2. Right? And week 3 is actually the summation of week 1 and week 2 plus week 3. So all I have to do is just drag it over. And what I do is I highlight. And instead of dragging it down, I go all the way to this little hairline cursor, cross cursor. I double click. So it gives me the summation of everything. Okay, managed to get up to here first. This is the weekly case. I'm doing a summation. So after week 4 is actually 3 cases because there's 1, 2, and 3. So week 5, there's 4 cases because the first 4 weeks there's 4 cases already plus 3 cases plus 1 case and so on. So it's summation. All right, let's get to here first. Let me know when you're done.
Hi sir, can you repeat how you get the summation again?
Okay, so summation again, very simple. Let me just show you how I do it. Okay. So for the first week, you just copy down the number for the first week because there's some to nothing, right? Just copy down a number for first week, bring it over. So this is a summation of week 1 already. If week 2 summation is I take week 1 plus the new cases in week 2. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Jermaine.
Okay. So you do that. And then what you do is from here, you can just drag it down. So you see, here is 48 plus 0. So end of week number 51 plus week number 52. And that's summation already.
Okay, thank you.
So
Wait, sorry, I didn't see. You can do again. Sorry.
Okay, I do on 25, right? Okay. So after week 1, cumulative of 2015, there's 2 cases, right? After week 2, I have 2 more new cases. So here the answer should be 4. Make sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I get 4? Equals whatever that is accumulated since last week plus new occurrence of the current week. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, then I just drag this cell down. So you see week number 9 is actually 10 because cumulated up to week 8 is 7 cases plus 3 new cases, I get 10 cases. Week number 10, I have 10 cases plus week 10 itself, there's 0 new cases, still 10 cases.
Wait, just now how you like move from like cumulative 2014 to cumulative 2015, like your 0 and a 2, like instead of like you solo type 0 and 2, like you just type 0 and just pull over.
Okay, I don't type 0. I cannot type 0 and pull over. I equal to this cell. Then I can pull over. See, it becomes the next cell.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, all of you okay with this step? Min Hui, are you all right? Who is that? Lucas, okay?
All good.
Okay, Umaira, okay?
I cannot pull it down.
You cannot pull it down. What do you mean you cannot pull it down?
Like when I try to do the cumulative for 2015, right? So I put the E2 plus B3, right? And then like I cannot pull it down.
Then you enter first. Enter first. Okay, let me show you. After you enter, you get 4, right? You get 4 first here.
Yeah, I got 4.
Okay, good. Then what you do is to pull it down, you cannot pull it down this way. It doesn't work. You have to go to the edge, the cursor change from the fat cross side to the hairline cross side. Then you can pull down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Or if you are lazy like me, what you do is you go here, you go to here, right? You double click, it will pull down all the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
How you get 4 for the week 2?
4?
Week 2.
Because it's first week plus second week. Look at that. Which cell I highlight? Is E2 plus B3.
But one is 2015, one is 2014.
Okay.
Correct.
Correct. So I get the wrong number. Yes. Correct. So I should be plus. Yes, I should be taking this out. Is it? Yes. Thank you. Correct. Get the wrong number. So
wait, how you double click? I still cannot double click.
Okay. So Humaira, do you see my mistake just now?
Sorry?
You see my mistake just now? Oh my god. You
the number wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you sort that out yourself, huh? Now who is the one that says they cannot double click?
Me, Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, Jordan, look here. You get 2 here, right? Good. Okay, big fat cursor. Go to this hairline cursor first.
Okay.
Then don't move your mouse. Move only your finger. Double click.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Can?
It doesn't give me like the it's like when you move to the side, like your cross becomes like
this one?
Yeah, like this. But mine is like thinner.
Yours is this guy,
No, no, no. It's like
That's
the
fine.
same dimension as that, but the black one. It's like thinner. Then I cannot double click.
Can you, okay, if you cannot double click, then that's fine. Can you actually drag? That means you drag down yourself. Yeah. Are you using a Mac?
No, no, no.
Okay. Sometimes different computers do have some problems.
When I drag down, it becomes like its own thing.
Okay, so what you have done is essentially this. You drag down. Okay, is this a formula first? If it's not a formula, you cannot drag down.
Where? Oh, it's not a formula.
Yes, of course, it's not a formula. How to drag down?
Oh.
You want to ask me to drag down what?
Oh, okay. Where? Oh, but it's because when I drag down, then they change the thing to its own
Correct.
counterpart.
Yes. So if you drag down, you see here it will change to its own respective column and rows.
Oh no, it doesn't for me. It becomes like, for example, like I click that, it becomes like B3.
Okay. No. So you see, E2 is one formula. It's equals to C2. Okay. E3 is a different formula. Yeah, because it's start with 0.
Oh, is it I need to like do it 2 times then I can drag it down?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because why? If you think about it, right? Let me just show you. You think about the whole situation. What you are supposed to do, let me just clear this out. What you're supposed to do is actually before week 1, there is a hypothetical week 0, right? Where there is 0 case. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So if the hypothetical 0 case, then cumulative of 0 case is still 0 case. So week 1 is itself the 0 case, which is a base starting point, plus week 1 case.
Oh, must we put like the week 0?
No need. That's why. Because you don't need put week 0, that's why the 2 equation is different.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Can ready. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So any other issues? Anyone still facing problem? Okay, so how do you do a line chart? You highlight column E and D and E. Go to insert. And this insert line graph. And then you want a 2-line graph to the first one, okay? Now, the rate is 2015, the blue is 2014. So is the rate of growth rather similar?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your conclusion. The rate of growth is rather similar. Okay, although the endpoint is really different by 4 cases. Okay, 48 and 52. But the rate of growth is roughly similar. That's what the conclusion is trying to say. Okay, so this is actually what you do for cumulative weekly distribution and cumulative cases. And what you can do is, oops, I just throw away this guy, don't need it anymore. I can even select the data series. I can change the markers. So the marker I can You can change the marker into a cross. So that gives me every week. I can change the markers as well. Okay. Okay, so essentially, that is all that we have. This is for you to practice. Okay. The few cases here are for you to practice at home and see whether can you do it or not. Okay, how to find the median mode and so on. So you should be able to do. In fact, question 3 and 4 for the tutorial worksheet, we have done that for you already. Okay. So any problem for this practical? So we have actually finished 2 practicals in 1. Anyone already half day? Do you have class after this?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. I still have 2 more hours after this. Okay, so that's all for today. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are confused or what, there's still the recordings for you to view. Let's see. Anybody have any comments? Is this rate? It's a bit faster than usual because you're supposed to do this over 2 weeks. But next Thursday is a public holiday, and I don't think you want to have lessons on public holiday, right?
Nope.
Okay, hopefully.
No,
Yeah. Okay. So that's all for today. Have fun. Go and take a good rest.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, Joe.
Okay.